So is AI coming for your job? Well, OpenAI just came out with their GPT-3 and it is certainly looking like it. If you haven't seen the videos and the demonstrations of what it can do, I will link to a video which shows you through all of them. But basically, it is now able to generate text, understand human text, and generate a code, computer code, that works and functions. So if you want to make an app, you want to make a website, you can just describe to it what you want, and it's coming out with the code. It's coming out with front-end code, it's coming out with database code. It's the same as if you wanted to get a website and you were hiring somebody, you just go to that person, you tell them what you want, and then they code it for you. But now we have an AI that is going to be able to do that for you by you just asking it. And instantly you have your code generated for you. And this is only the early versions. Imagine this in 2-3 more versions down the line. It is going to change the world and the way that we do code. So it's been trained on a lot of data, a lot of words. Essentially, it's a word generating process in the English language. Billions and billions of bits of data. And so we can now generate fully comprehensive sentences and paragraphs explaining concepts to you. It can take complicated information and make it so a 5-year-old could understand it and read it. So not only can you generate the text, you can then simplify the text. So imagine that for content creation, for blogs, for writing videos, for newspaper articles, which a lot of articles already are being written by AIs. Well, it's just going to completely take over that space, because you can instantly have a report about whatever subject you want, then simplify it to a language which a 5-year-old could understand, and you hit publish and you're good to go. What is the point of writers anymore? Very soon we are going to have a full novel written by an AI. I say within the next 5 years we're going to have a fully coherent novel written from an AI. We've had stories written before, but they're just all over the place and very quickly become nonsensical. They lose track of what has happened. It's more like being in a dream. It can continue to generate story, but it just doesn't make sense. And there's no linking it back to it. But with this, I'm thinking it's going to definitely be able to write full-on stories. So who knows? All of the stories we read in the future may just be written by AI. You imagine then applying that to, say, video processing. Well, now you have an AI that makes the story, and then you use another AI to make videos upon that footage, and now we have a full-on movie production facility generated by AI. You just give it a topic and it makes a video for you. Imagine applying that to even just the YouTube space. You can pop out videos again and again and again and again from the click of a button. Obviously that video one doesn't yet exist, but it will exist at some point in the future. It's just a matter of time. So should you be scared that they're coming for your job? Well, maybe, and maybe not. The creative jobs, possibly design, writing, coding, these are going to become less and less and less important, and there'll be less roles for these people, as most of it is done by one person who can run many AIs and just regulate it. But there are still massive limitations with AI. It doesn't understand, it doesn't comprehend, it cannot link big bits of data together, which means AIs are not going to be great at stuff like strategy and strategizing content and coming up with plans and executing those plans. It can do if you tell it what to do, it will be able to do it, but it's not going to be able to comprehend how this human psychology works and the different steps that go along a marketing plan, for example, which means we will start to use AIs as a tool for us to be able to speed up the processes that which we create content into the world. But it won't replace our intentions, because an AI, a robot, doesn't have a purpose. It doesn't have meaning unless you give it. And essentially what it does is makes it easier for anybody to break into these spaces and compete with with much bigger people. With much smaller teams, you will be able to produce higher qualities of work. So in some way you can look at it as taking away something that we have. But in other ways you can look at it as the potential for you to empower your own creativity and create things that were never possible before at a rate that has never been possible before. Humans and AI together is going to be so intermingled that our skills are going to matter less and less, and our ability to solve problems are going to matter more. If I were you, I would start brushing up on your physics textbooks, because they cannot do that yet. So in the future, all of our content we're going to see is probably going to be heavily produced by AI on our YouTubes, on our Facebook, even on mainstream media. It's all going to be generated using AI or in large amounts. All of the computer code is going to be generated using AI. If you want to upskill now, focus on the things robots are going to be good at: emotion, psychology, lateral thinking, strategy, problem solving. How can you apply those into your work going forward? Industries change all the time. It's part of evolution. We all used to work on farms. Now hardly anybody works on farms, and it's going to be even less in the future. I think the only really scary thing is not that it's happening, it's the rate at which it's happening. You know, this is step 3. Imagine how much better it's going to be in step 10, i.e. within 10 years, it is going to have completely changed the world and the way we interact with it.